All right, happy Friday, guys. Just wanted to do a quick video recap. There are so many freaking stocks in play and so many students who are really getting it. I just want to go over this quickly before I lose your attention to the weekend. JVA is the newest earnings winner. I don't care about what the revenues and the profits are. They have a little Walmart deal, but for whatever the reason is, there was a huge reaction to earnings. And you had a chance to buy it in here in the high fours and low fives before it went to six. You just had to be quick. And this is another example. I see some people out there teaching like never buy at the market open. That is the dumbest shit I have ever seen. When there's an earnings winner, when there's a play that has huge potential, buying at the open or near the open is fantastic. I got in this at 512. I'm sorry that by the time you got the alert, it was already like 540, but there were still chances to profit up to six. But the key to success on this is being prepared. And to be prepared, you have to study the past. I make the analogy that I'm basically a glorified driving instructor. I'm teaching you the rules of the road, or I'm a glorified, history teacher, teaching you the history of these kinds of plays. So every new video, I try and show what's worked and what hasn't worked. This works. For those of you who don't remember JVA going back a little while, a few years, back in here in 2014, but go back even further and look here in 2011. Huge, huge, huge supernova. So never forget supernovas of the past. Yeah, this is actually the biggest volume day, even surpassing that. But it's coffee. Coffee, is a commodity. It's not really like a truly great technology play. So it probably won't go supernova like this. But just the threat of that allows it to, really spike. And I had a good trade on it, two good trades. My first one was buying it in the low fives and selling it basically in the high fives. Just a small position, but this is a perfect trade. I tried to give it a chance to get into the sixes, even though it had already beat my expectations. Sometimes when the price action is solid like this and the volume is huge, I'll give it more time. But it topped actually a few times at 596 at first, and then at 615 twice. So I got out, in the high fives, which was still solid. This one was probably even better trade because I dip bought it at 530-ish, and even though I didn't sell it properly, I was dip buying it like in here. After it was already off of its highs of 615, I was dip buying it here. Some people are asking, why do you buy it at 530? Well, when you're dip buying an earnings winner or any really winner like this that's so quick, you want to see where it broke out. So the initial high was right here at 542, but really this big green candle that, took it from 517 all the way up to nearly 6, all in like a minute or two. The breakout was right here at like 520-ish. And you can see here, even though it eventually fell through 520, it held it pretty much all morning. So when I'm buying it at 530, there's like 5-10 cents a share of risk. And even though I only made like 10 cents, if I had waited and had a little more patience, the overall market is down today. That hurt my patience. But if I had waited a little bit, there was 50 cents a share of upside from my buy and only 5 or 10 cents of downside. That's good risk reward. So I didn't time it perfectly, but my thought process and my rationale was pretty damn good. And I'm glad that so many of you guys profited. So between the two, I made like 1,500. But students, CBYL, this is another one that's spiking right now, and I've just missed it because there's just too many plays. I'm overloaded. Jared, good job, up over 2,000 or almost $2,000 in 2 days. Here's Eric. I love this. And Eric is one of my students. He's building his own house with his trading profits, and he's up roughly 9,000 in the last month. And he started being totally self-sufficient. And he said, "Thank you so far, Timothy Sykes. You changed my life." Well, thank you. This is what I want to see out of students. It's not about following picks. I'm so proud that so many of you guys, spotted JVA before me. This was running pre-market right in here, and a few minutes before the market opened, and you could have bought it anywhere in here in the fours before the sixes, and even if you held even now, it's in the fives. Like it's tough not to make money if you spot an earnings winner with volume and that's a former supernova early on. So self-sufficiency is key. I should also mention this tweet from Matty Triforce Trader, and he said, "Hey guys, not to damper the bulls, but just remember that we have done nothing yet this year." And this is a very good point. If you look at the S&P 500, obviously we're way off the lows and we have this nice uptrend. But if you go back, 1 year to the end of the year, I mean, we're literally like right there. So is this a top? Is this not? I don't know. I don't care. And as I commented, the markets as a whole have done nothing, but traders like us have seen our accounts grow dramatically. My $12,000 account is now roughly $52,000 after today's $1,500 gain. So a few hundred here or there, sometimes 1,000 or two in a day, it adds up. And you can do that even in a flat market. That's the beauty of trading. Here's Brandon, made 640 on EBIO. Roberto made 450 on EBIO. I totally forgot to even bring this up. I missed this one. I just did not trust it. And that was my mistake because it just keeps spiking. And, will it end soon? Probably. It's probably going to be a good short either later today or more likely next week. It's tough to short on Fridays. But this is a fantastic run up. Mark Crook was nailing the buy here in the 140s. If you're in my Trading Challenge chat room, Mark Crook gives exclusive alerts to you Trading Challenge students. Utilize it. And today, just more follow through. So congrats to Roberto and Brandon and some people in the chat room. Hellacious made 480 on JVA. S-Bomb 2326 made 500 on EBIO. Justin made 500. And this is his first day trading after 100 hours of video lessons. So congrats, Justin. Good job on the patience. Good job on the preparation. It adds up. Here's NJ. Good job, made 1,400. Didn't capture it all of the full potential, but it's okay. You take the meat of the move. Here is Atul, made 500 to start the day. And here's Chris, who made 150, and he's showing this. And, I have many, many more students in the chat room. I'm sorry I can't highlight all of you, just like I can't highlight or catch all of these stocks that are spiking. CLF, if you remember, I was buying it here at 402, and then where was it? Right here. I guess I probably should have dip bought again at 402 when it held it, but I chased it a little bit in the 430s, sold for a small loss in the 420s. This is now breaking out in the 450s. People are asking me, do I regret it? No. Okay. Like, this is a choppy stock. At best, I could have made an extra, 20, 30 cents. So like $500. I don't care about making 500 on a choppy, slow moving stock when you see that I make 1,500 on JVA like that. And I totally missed EBIO. So for me, could I have done better? Yes. Could I have done worse? Yes. Does it matter? No. If I make or lose 5 or 10 cents a share, it's a scratch. The big money is in plays like JVA and EBIO. So don't worry if you miss time of play like I did with CLF. This is an important lesson. Or miss plays like CBYL. LBIO is now spiking big too. I missed that one. GSAT, a lot of you guys are talking about it because it basically crashed when they're not going to get FCC approval, or that's what it looks like. I don't play stocks that crash, 30, 40, 50, 60%. If you've seen my DVDs, if you've watched Penny Stocking or Penny Stocking Part 2, I compare this to like buying 50% off sushi at the supermarket. They have these 50% off sales on like sushi and sashimi late in the day because the fish is kind of old. And chances are you might be okay. But if you're not, and you're trying to just save like $3, $4, $5 buying this old sushi, you might get a really bad stomach ache. So is it really worth it? I would rather buy fresh sushi, the best sushi in the world, which I love in Tokyo at the Tsukiji Fish Market. Don't trade stocks that are down 30, 40, 50, 60% if you want to be safe, okay? If you want to risk it, I know a lot of people were buying it at like 70 cents on here on the crash and selling it at 80 or 90 cents, and they're like, Tim, what's wrong with you? It's easy money. Well, again, it's no different than buying sushi that's 50% off. Most of the time you'll be okay, but sometimes you won't be. And for me, it's about risk reward. It's about choosing trades that work 6 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, 8 or even 9 times out of 10. If you buy stocks like this, or GoGo also, that got crushed because their competitor basically is looking like they're going to get an American Airlines contract. Most of the time, you'll be okay. But at the same time, sometimes you will really just get destroyed. And I don't want to put myself in the face of destruction ever. So you can ignore me, you can gamble, you guys will do that seemingly anyways, but all I can do is teach you rules that are probably a little counterintuitive, but that have served me well and that I've been refining now for the past 2 decades. So big props, congrats to everybody who was long EBIO. This is the biggest winner of the past 2 days. JVA opened up some opportunities. Now we got CBYL and LBIO. You know, plays galore. You guys, if you're not understanding this stuff, if you haven't studied, use the weekends, use the nighttime. I know some of you are in school or at work and you're like, well, I can't study, I can't trade. It's okay if you can't trade because first you should be studying anyways. A lot of you guys, your first question is, how much do I need to open an account? And you just want to start trading right away without any preparation, without any studying. You know, you see people making money, you want to get in like that. That is not the path to true success, okay? This is not a game where, you know, this trade by Chris making 150, you think this is all he wants in life? Or NP, you think, you know, he made 1,400. You think this is the best that he's ever going to do? NJ, my bad. Or Justin, you know, making 500 bucks after studying 100 hours. No, the reason why I'm so proud of this, and this comment specifically, is because great things have small beginnings, okay? Justin understands that, took the time to study the video lessons. This is his first day trading, and like that, he makes, you know, 500, and he didn't even trade EBIO or JVA perfectly. You know, Roberto making 450 bucks, awesome chat room. That is just the start. I want to show you these students because it's good to see that it's not just me who's making money off this volatility, that you can actually see student after student after student. And he did not capture the meat of the move on EBIO at all. But he still profited nicely and he learned. The reason why I show you these students is because this kind of stuff adds up. This is why I'm trading with such a small account this year. Okay? You think that, look at this. Oh, I also posted this, 5 basic rules for community postings on Profitly, I should mention. Just, you know, don't link to outside blogs, don't link to non-transparent traders. We have very simple rules, but we have the largest community of nearly 100,000 traders now, all fully transparent, and we respect transparency. What I was going to say about my trades, though, you think that, you know, this $100 profit or $1,400 profit matters? No, it's the end all. It's the overall goals. Now 4.4 million. And if I wasn't trading with a small account focusing on teaching, who knows? I might be at 6 million or 10 million. But I get more enjoyment and fulfillment from teaching. So I don't mind trading with a small account. And more importantly, it's important to show you these kinds of gains. You know, I get some nasty comments like, oh, a millionaire only makes 100 bucks. Ha ha ha. Well, guess what? Guess how I made those fucking millions? $100, $1,400 at a time. So you have these assumptions of what it takes to be a millionaire and how to actually do it. What I'm trying to do is break it down trade by trade. And this is pretty revolutionary. You know, don't try and say that this $100 trade or $1,400 trade doesn't matter, because they are building blocks as I build my wealth. And trades like these from other students like Eric, you know, who's now made 9,000 in the last month. This wasn't all on one trade, okay? And this has taken several months of studying ahead of it. So you have to try and, you know, conceptualize and visualize what it takes to actually make 9,000 and then to make 90,000 and then 900,000. And I know when you have a few $100s or a few $1,000s to your name, it seems impossible. But that is why, if you watch my How to Make Millions DVD, you know, one of the central themes is that if you learn how to make $1,000 on a trade, you know, if you're betting like 3,000, if you're betting like 5,000, whatever, if you learn how to do that, guess what? It can add up over time, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. It's not going to happen every day. Sometimes you're going to lose, but that is the mentality that you have. And as more students become millionaires, as more students build their own homes, you'll see. But it takes a little while to study. It takes a little while to get all of these best plays. And then it takes a little while for all the best plays and your profits from them to compound, especially because you're going to lose some or miss some or make some mistakes. So trust me, I have the path here to create more millionaires, but it does take time and perseverance. It's not going to all happen in one day or 1 week or 1 month or even for most people 1 year. My top student, Tim Grittani, who's now closing in on $3 million in profits in his 5th year as my student. And he's, learned his own stuff now and taken it to a whole nother level. And he's actually done nearly double what I did in my first few years. But he did not have consistent profits for the first 9 months of his trading career. He said this publicly. This is not some big secret. So don't expect to be profitable right away. Remember that 90% of traders lose money. But at the same time, if you get on the right path, as so many students are learning, it can add up. And that's the secret of my success in trading and now in teaching. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Just enjoy all these plays. And if you guys are missing out on it or you don't understand what's happening, then study. Use the weekend, get wiser, watch my How to Make Millions DVD, watch my Spikeability DVD. I'm actually working on a new guide called Trader Checklist. And it's basically going to give you a checklist of things to look out for before you make a trade. And I think that'll help so that, you can really be better prepared on every single trade. But Eric, you win comment of the day so far. He's just self-sufficient for the past month, and he's up 9 grand in his first month being self-sufficient. And you got to put that in perspective. This is quite a bit of money for somebody, who's just starting. But he's studied, he's prepared. Remember to stay humble, Eric. Whether you make 9,000 or 90,000, you can never get too cocky, because if you do, the market will likely take it away from you. I've had good months, many good months in the past where I have, let's just say gotten too narcissistic, too egotistical. When you make $50,000 or $100,000 in a month, as only a few of my students have experienced so far, it really changes your perspective on the world. And you see everyone, in the rat race working their 9 to 5 and some people working 2 or 3 jobs. And you're just like, holy shit, like this is a totally different world. And it's not easy to get there. It's not, some get rich quick scheme. It's not for everybody. But if you study, if you prepare, if you see example after example after example, you miss a few trades, you hit a few trades, you cut losses quickly on a few trades, it adds up. All I need from you is dedication and patience. And I know a lot of you don't have it. So that's why I have to keep repeating it. It's not enough just to know the hot stocks. It's not enough just to trade the hot stocks. You need to keep everything into perspective and see, why are you doing this? Why would somebody like, who was it? Did I delete it? No, here it is. Why would someone like Justin, 100 hours of video lessons? Why would he be so proud of making $500 after 100 hours of video lessons? Let's do the math. I mean, I'm not very good at math, but so there's 60 minutes per hour. So 60 times, let's call it 100. So he spent 6,000 minutes divided by 500. So he's making no wait, I did that math wrong. Good, I'm glad to show you that I'm not good at math. You don't have to be good at math. He's making $500 divided by 6,000 minutes. My bad. So he's making, 8 cents a minute. Or if you multiply that by 60, he's making $5 an hour. So why would you be proud of making $5 an hour? if you're that's below minimum wage, because Justin has the right mindset, because he understands this is his first day and the preparation might seem long, and if you want to compare it per hour, it's not worth it in the beginning, but in the end, if you really use that education and grow your accounts, it's totally worth it, and you start earning $50 an hour, $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour. It's not your normal 9 to 5 job. You're not going to get paid bi-weekly. There's no health insurance. It's a different kind of game. But if you want the true upside that no 9 to 5er will ever have, you put in the time to study, you make it work, and in time you'll be rewarded. So thank you again. Have a great weekend.